All right, Shalom. Let me get a test real quick. Testing, testing. Salaki, one moment. Make sure we good. I think we good. Salaki, one moment. Yeah, sounds nice and good. Always got to do that before the class start. I make sure we good. I don't want to go into an audio be all messed up. With that being said, Shalom Israel, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabrakatah. My sisters, Yahweh Shamar Iltah Hashem Yahweh Shah. It's the Thursday class of Priest Officer Kwam Guam. This is the ASHPK under commanding General Yohana. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We've been bringing out this truth since 1969. We teach that blacks, Latinos, First Nation man and woman are the chosen of the Most High God, Yahweh. Also, we recognize our King, Yahweh Shah Mashiach, King over Israel, always will be King over Israel. So today, we're going to do a scripture review. We're going to talk a little bit about Dragon's Day, Salakia, so-called Mother's Day. It's another heathen custom of America where, uh, you know, uh, women are put on the pedestal to be worshipped like, so-called goddesses, which we know is false. It's just another day that, for you to worship something other than the Most High God, Yahweh, to anger the Most High God, according to the scriptures, and for men to go broke, be basically, give their all to a woman is probably not even, worthy of the treatment that she says she requires. So we're going to go to the scriptures about that. We're going to read a little bit of facts about Mother's Day. Shalom, brother, shalom. Yahweh Shem Shabakatah. The water for checking in. But again, we're just going to read some scriptures about this Mother's Day. We're going to do some history about Mother's Day, see where it originated, do a scripture review, and that's just what we're going to do here. All right, so let me bring this up first here. Okay, so for those of us that don't know, Mother's Day is, of course, a Roman, Greek origin. I mean, almost everything that you see in America is pretty much initiated by, the so-called Romans and Greeks, which is today, this Western civilization, it's the same people. These people over here are the children of those people over there. So everything that you see today is pretty much a carbon copy of what the ancient Romans did and the Greeks did. And of course, most of the practices and the things that they indulge in today, most of it comes from like Hamitic backgrounds. It comes from like the so-called stinking Africans. So you got to realize as a Black, Hispanic, First Nation man and woman, when you partake in anything that has to do with America or this Western civilization, understand that most of it, the majority of it is going to be pagan practices. I mean, pretty much all of it's going to be pagan practices. It's Salaki. Let me see what's going on. Salaki, this computer's trying to do updates while I'm doing my class. There's nothing but Satan trying to work, man. Nothing but Satan trying to work. But anyway, anything that you see going on here today in America and this Western civilization is pretty much, it comes from ancient Greek, ancient Rome, and it's going to be something that goes against the Most High God, Yahweh. Recognize that we are still in our captivity here in America. We have been in captivity numerous times. We've been in captivity to the Assyrians, the Babylonians, ancient Greece, ancient Rome, the so-called Medes, the Persians, Arabs, stinking Africans. So today, when we partake in, these so-called holidays here in America, such as, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, you partake in Mother's Day. These are all pagan from its origins. They're all pagan things, okay? So I'm going to read a little bit about where Mother's Day comes from, all right? So the tradition dates back to pagan celebrations in ancient Greece in honor of Rhea, the mother of the gods. In Rome, to Cybele, a mother of goddesses. So, it depends on what, which ancient kingdom you're dealing with. But in Greece, it was worship of the god Rhea. Okay, in Rome, it was Cybele. Okay, and if you go back far enough, it all ends up to going back to like ancient Babylon. I know in Africa, it'd be called maybe Ishtar. No, Ishtar would be the Babylonian, I believe it is, but Isis and so forth, stuff like that. All right, so a mother of goddesses was worshipped as early as 250 BC in the 17th century. England celebrated a day called Mothering Sunday on the fourth Sunday of Lent. Okay, so we're gonna get into the American version. And now remember I said that everything that happens here is pretty much comes from everything here in the Western civilization comes from, ancient Greece and ancient Rome, which originated from the stinking Africans. All right, so so here in America today, Anna Jarvis of Philadelphia, whose mother had organized women's groups to promote friendship and health, originated Mother's Day. Okay, so this is a so-called, here I'm gonna show you. I don't know if you can see this in the camera, but you probably can't see it. But this lady here, this heathen lady here, she's actually she's from Philadelphia, I believe. Originated Mother's Day. On May 12th, 1907, she held a memorial service at her late mother's church in Grafton, West Virginia. Within 5 years, virtually every state was observing the day. In 1914, and within 5 years, virtually every state was observing the day. Okay, so I do believe, I guess it kicked off in West Virginia, but this Anna Jarvis is from Philadelphia. All right, so that's where it started from. Okay, so right off top, this is a heathen woman and her daughter. You know what I mean? This is where it started from. Okay, so when you go trace back in America, this is the first time you see it observed here in America. But of course, somebody passed it down. They got it from ancient Greece, ancient Rome, and they mingled it in with the Christian church, and then now you got Mother's Day, where a lot of those holidays were pagan in its origin, and then they mingled. The pagans combined with the Christian, the Catholic Church, the church, and then you have these secret pagan things being worshipped secretly. So you got things like the worship of the sun god Nimrod. They instituted that in the Christian church, and then you get Christmas. You see what I'm saying? These are the type of things that they do. They try to sneak it. They try to sneak it in there. The pagans came together with the Christians, and then they formed a pact. And then now you got all these pagan things going on. You know what I mean, in the world. So again, this Anna Jarvis of Philadelphia, Salakia. Come on, Salakia. This thing is trying to update while I'm teaching the class. Yeah. So, like I said, it's pagan in origin. From ancient Greece, ancient Rome, and then it carries over to Western civilization. And this Anna Jarvis of Philadelphia is where it started from. She was all in the women's groups, women's rights, that blah, blah, blah. The same type of stuff you see today here in America. Same type of thing. All right. So, now let's get into some stats, about this Mother's Day. All right, before we get into some scriptures. All right, so it says Mother's Day spending is expected to total $31.7 billion this year. You hear that? $31.7 billion. All right, up 13% from 2021, according to the annual consumer survey. All right, so just think about that. They are going to pour in $31.7 billion. Think about that. I mean, Salaki, that's crazy. I mean, for this foolish, American holiday where some dragon is going to be celebrated and worshiped, a woman who probably is not even deserving of any type of praise or any type of reverence. It's just unbelievable. I mean, and of course, we're not talking about sisters in the ISUPK and the commanding general honor. Of course, we know that is the top echelon of women, in the ISUPK. But in the world, these dragons don't deserve any. They don't. Most of the women, are barely even, parents to their children. You know what I mean? I know a lot of women in the world who, you know what I mean. They pawn their kid off in front of the TV, send the kid to certain relatives. And all they want to do is shake their tail in the club. You know what I mean? They want to shake their tail in the club. They're worried about every ratchet TV show, and give me what you can do for them, where you can take them. How do I look? Sisters is, what I mean, getting work done to their body, what I mean, getting all these fake things done to themselves. And, and just in their attitude and all right, it's just like the attitude of what we say, a dragon. I mean, a fire breathing dragon. I mean, some brothers live with some of these dragons, you know what I mean? So Mother's Day is nothing but another, pat on the back for these dragons. And then, God forbid, what I mean, our brother don't celebrate these things. God forbid you don't celebrate, bring in a card for your dragon, or some chocolates or some balloons, you know what I mean, or go on Facebook and bow down and worship her, for the world to see. You know what I mean? Ain't no telling what the dragon going to do to you after that. You know what I mean? You probably can't even, she probably changed the locks on you. You know what I mean? So it's just another, holiday. You know what I mean? It's just another day that angers the Lord, and it's something that we shouldn't be celebrating because it goes back in pagan origins. If you want to know what the high holy days to the Most High are, you go to Leviticus, I believe the 21st chapter or 23rd chapter, and it tells you about all the high holy days and what we're supposed to observe. But Mother's Day, Christmas, Halloween, you know what I mean, New Year's, Independence Day, whatever, birthdays, none of that stuff has anything to do with what the Most High, wants us to be doing. Okay, so let's get into some more stats. Okay, so that Cybele is primarily a female name of Greek. Okay, that's a Greek origin. Though. So Cybele is the Greek, and then I think it was the other one. Rhea was the Roman one. Okay, all right. So let's get into some more stats. All right, average amount spent in America. Now this is talking about like between a man, woman, child, whatnot. Okay, so on average, Americans will spend $225 on Mother's Day gifts, according to the Lending Tree. Men plan to spend about 276, while women plan to spend 168. And fathers plan to spend the most, around 361. In general, men plan to give Mother's Day gifts more often than women. There you go. That's your Captain Save them, brothers, you know what I mean? Who are going to get down on one knee, you know what I mean? Propose, decorate the whole driveway with rose petals, run her bath water, you know what I mean? And do all these things. And after that, she ain't gonna do nothing but smack him in the face and then lay down. Don't even give him no tail at the end of the night. You know what I mean? It just don't make no sense, man. It just don't make no sense. So if you figure if brothers is going out spending $330 something for Mother's Day, and that's one brother. So just think about the whole world. Just think about the type of money they're bringing. And that's why I say 31.7 billion. I mean, this is amazing how they generate so much money off of these disgusting days, these disgusting holidays. All right. Okay. Now, of course, I wanted to see, because, Mother's Day, of course, in America, the mother is worshipped. The mother is, you know what I mean, always put on a pedestal and worship and whatnot. But I wanted to see if it was the same for fathers. Okay. So I'm going to read a little bit about Father's Day. Now, we know that, fathers, same thing. Father's Day is the same thing. It's another pagan day. It's nothing that the Most High God wants us to, celebrate or to honor. It's just another one of those days. Okay. Just another day for them to make money. So it says here, the National Retail Federation says 76% of people plan to celebrate Father's Day. Compare that to 84% on Mother's Day. We also spend more on mom. $25 billion compared to $16 billion for dad. So it's still a lot of money that's going to be spent on dads, but it's not what the world spends on mothers, because again, the mother is put on. Now remember, America is, a carbon copy of ancient, Africa. The Hamites, and they were all about the worship of women. They were all about the worship of their women, the pharaohs. I mean, the women even almost had more power than the pharaohs. You know what I mean? The women would tell the pharaoh to do certain things and whatnot. So in America, it's the same thing here. So even though they spend a lot of money on fathers on Father's Day, it still doesn't compare to what they do for the women. Okay, and that's what I just read there. Okay, and then also I know even when I was in the world, and even today, on Father's Day, you see women come out on Facebook and all over social media. Yeah, I'm the father and the mother too. Happy Father's Day to me. I mean, women can't even get, even though, again, these are pagan practices. It's nothing to be, to be celebrating or to be proud of. But I see a lot of sisters do that in the world. I'm the father, I am the mother. Happy Father's Day to me. You know what I mean? But then on Mother's Day, every man has to say Happy Mother's Day. And don't you dare say the mother's not a good mother, even though the mother might not be a good mother, even though, the mother has, don't even say, Shalom, brother. The mother don't even send the kids to school. You know what I mean? The kid got multiple truancy letters. You know what I mean? You're a horrible parent. Don't help the kid with the homework and everything. That you don't even want to cook your kids' meals. But Happy Mother's Day to you, right? That's what they want. But again, like I said, I see sisters all the time. Oh, Happy Mother's Day to me. Happy Father's Day to me. I'm everything. I'm the queen. You know what I mean? You know what I'm getting at. You know what I'm getting at. Okay. So let me see what else I got here. Okay. And then, those same mothers that, go on about that, I'm queen of the earth, you know what I mean? The black womb man, and you know what I mean? All this stupid titles like they give themselves. They talk so much about, how the man is this, the man is that, the man don't do this, the man do that. But they're raising these children, right? They're raising these single parent, they're raising these men, these boys or whatever. And then these boys grow up to be killers, failures, you know what I mean, and whatnot. And then, like it says here, it says adolescents from single parent families and cohabiting families are more likely to have low achievement scores, lower expectations for college, lower grades, and higher dropout rates than children from intact biological families. So, woman, sister, be so quick, you know what I mean, to kick a brother out or talk bad about the brother or put the brother on child support. Don't want him to be a part of his son's life. But then these are the results from you doing that. And then what you think happens when a kid gets 18 years old? Oh, that was the father's fault. It was the father's fault. He wasn't in his life. You know what I mean? That's why he turned out that way. And then when he turns, also when he turns 18 and she can't get no more child support, get out of my house. Get out of my house. You know what I mean? That's what a dragon would do. That's what. But I'm supposed to say Happy Mother's Day to that. I'm supposed to say Happy Mother's Day to a woman like that, right? Salaki, it ain't going to happen. You know what I mean? It ain't going to happen. So again, and like I said, on these days, these women want to be worshipped. You want to show reverence to them. And let's get the definition of what worship is, first of all, before we get into some scriptures, okay? So I got a definition of worship right here. It says to honor or show reference, you know what I mean, for as a divine being or supernatural power. And that's another thing, too. That lets you know right there that the only reverence or, honor, you know what I mean, you should be really shown to is the Most High God, Yahweh. Okay, so we don't put no women, in the position of the Most High God. And we'll get to the scriptures with that, too. She's not a supernatural power. Just because she can give birth to a baby, you know what I mean? Just because, she has certain things, aspects of her body, she has breasts, she has butt and all that. You know what I mean? Yeah, we know the sex is good and all that, but she's not a supernatural being. You know what I mean? She's not a supernatural being. Okay. So there's nothing wrong with you, giving your rib, compliments, and telling your rib she's a good woman or she does a good job or even, giving her some praise, but she don't deserve to be put in the position of the Most High God. You know what I mean? We don't put women in the position of God, and I ask you to carry the command and general your honor. We don't do that. Okay. That's what we don't do. Okay. To regard with great or extravagant respect, honor, or devotion. And again, it's not wrong depending on how you do it. But when you begin to make these women, your everything more, they're more important than, than the Most High God, that's when it becomes a problem. And Mother's Day has that type of spirit. You know what I mean? Getting these women cards and candy and telling them that they queens and all that. First of all, our black women ain't queens, they're princesses, okay? Because queens rule and they're not supposed to be in rulership. We know that according to the Bible, the black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man are supposed to rule over their women. All right. So again, it's to honor, show reverence, to regard with a great or extravagant respect, honor, or devotion. Okay. So again, there's nothing wrong with showing your woman some praise or whatever, but when you begin to worship them and you begin to go broke and you know what I mean, you begin to destroy your own life and disobey God because you want to get some damn dragon, some candy or some balloons on Mother's Day or on her birthday, then that's when it becomes a problem. All right. So let me see what else I got here. All right. Okay. I'm gonna read a little bit more about this, the Greece and Roman, where it started at, and then I'm gonna get into these scriptures. Okay, so Mother's Day began as a celebration of Rhea, the mother of the Greek mythological gods. We know, remember that the Greeks were first the first civilized. I don't even want to call them damn devils civilized, Salakia, but the Greeks were the first, so-called Edomites that was like had a powerful kingdom or whatever, or you know what I mean, or like the first learned, I guess you could say, Edomites. Mother's Day began as a celebration of Rhea, the mother of the Greek mythological gods, then transitioned in the 17th century to a day to honor the mother of Jesus, Mary. Eventually, all mothers were included. In the United States, Mother's Day is celebrated the 2nd of May. In the United Kingdom, Mother's Day is the 4th Sunday of Lent. Today, many mother celebrations consist of honoring mothers with a kind message and a card, chocolate or flowers, or taking moms out to a special meal. Right. I mean, if you go on Facebook right now, I'm pretty sure you'll probably see, a lot of, sucker brothers, you know what I mean, on there, mom's Mother's Day, you know what I mean? Mom this, mom that. Meanwhile, your damn mother probably abused you about 90-something% of your life. Yeah, you know what I mean? Gave you a terrible upbringing. I mean, not to say that you're supposed to disrespect your mother, but, these women don't deserve no reverence, man. These women, unless they're in the ass, you be carrying the command and junior honor. They don't deserve any praise. You know what I mean? These women in the world don't deserve no praise. You know what I mean? Show me different. Mother's Day and Father's Day. Mother's Day dates back to the ancient cultures in Greece and Rome. Okay, we basically read that. All right. And then, like I said, it spread to Western civilization with Christianity, and that's what you have today. You have all the getting the cards, the chocolate, the flowers, the balloons, you know what I mean? All these different things came later today. Like, once it came here, And that's what you see today. But it's still a pagan practice. It's still something that, they carry from the ancient Egyptians to the ancient Romans and Greeks, and then over here in Western civilization today. So let's get a couple scriptures. All right, let's get a couple scriptures here. All right. So let's go with first. Let's go. I'd love to start with anything that has to do with heathens. I always love to pull this Jeremiah 10:1, all right, and 2. So Jeremiah 10:1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. And of course, if you don't know, house of Israel, blacks, Hispanics, First Nation man and woman. Okay, that's talking about us. Okay, we are that nation. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. 10:2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. Okay, learn not the way of the heathen. Okay, so what is this talking about? It says, to the children of Israel, blacks, Hispanics, First Nation man and woman, the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we are not to learn the way of the heathens. What is a heathen? A heathen. Anybody outside of the nation of Israel, whether you have Chinese, Japanese, the so-called Edomites, the Arabs, any nation of people that are not the Israelites, okay? Those are heathens, and that's according to the Bible, okay? That's what that's talking about. That's not my definition. That's according to the Bible, okay? So again, Jeremiah 10:1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. And of course, the reason why I pulled this is because, again, we're talking about things like Mother's Day. Mother's Day, we know that was kicked off, started by a heathen, an Edomite by the name of Anna Jarvis, okay, for her mother. All right, so it's telling you right here to learn not the ways of the heathen. So black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man, women, we have to understand that just because we're here in America and you see all this heathenistic customs around us, just because, you see, lost brothers and other, heathens running out of the stores with Christmas trees and birthday cards and cakes and all these different other things you celebrate these days, these are not customs of our people. When you go back to the origin of who we are as a people, we did not do these type of things. And the Most High God gave us rules, laws, and commands to not do these things. Okay, and this is what we need to understand. And, somebody in the world might think that this is a small matter, but it's not. It's not a small matter, because things like this is why we are destroyed here in America. This is why we are, in the dust, and the other nations are up above us. Okay, this is why, you know what I mean, we spend our money to them and they get rich, and it doesn't happen vice versa. You understand? So this is major, and the biggest thing is that we are upsetting the Most High God Yahweh. We are, a disappointment to our God, and because of that, we are in a low state. Okay, so again, one more time, Jeremiah 10:1. Hear ye the word which the Lord God speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. 10:2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. Okay, so if you never heard that before, you're hearing it now. Learn not the way of the heathen. Okay, and again, the heathens are anybody outside of the nation of Israel. Okay, so in this situation here, the ways of the heathen we were talking about is Mother's Day. Okay, so you sisters, even though you love to be spoiled, you love to be giving gifts and be treated like princesses by your man, you have to understand that, listen, you today, that Mother's Day is not the day that you want to do it. You got 360 something other days, that you can be treated like a princess, and you can be getting cards. And now, there's no sin against getting a card or chocolate, or for your man to take you out, or to call you a princess and lay rose petals down for you. There's no sin in that. It depends if that your man does it on Mother's Day, or on a day that an American holiday is so-called instituted. But there's no sin against a man doing those things for you. He just can't celebrate those days, because then in turn, by celebrating that, he's worshiping other gods. He's worshiping the god Rhea, the so-called goddess Rhea, and Cybele, and Ishtar, Isis, whatever. So you have to understand that if you love your husband, sister, if you love your husband, you won't make your man. You won't ask your man to get you nothing on the Mother's Day. You won't ask your man to get to worry about your birthday. You won't put the burden of Christmas on your husband. Okay. You don't want him to be broke and can't pay the damn mortgage the next month, and then y'all be going back to the projects. If you already ain't in the projects. So what I mean. These are the type of things that, if you are not a dragon, if you really are a sister, or conduct yourselves like the sisters in the ISUPK, you wouldn't do these things to your boyfriend or your husband. You would understand that he has laws and a covenant to obey. All right, let's go to the next scripture. Let's get Amos 5:21. Salakia, one moment. Amos 5:21. All right. I hate, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell on your solemn assemblies. I repeat that. Amos 5:21. I hate, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Now, typically, Mother's Day is a day where there's a lot of feast that goes on. Of course, women are being taken out for meals. Brother might cook for his woman, or cook for his mother. You know what I mean? So it is a day of feast days. So just like all the other days, Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, it's just another day where there's an elaborate meal, the worship of a god. On this particular day, you making, not only you're worshiping Rhea or Cybele, you're worshiping your woman too. You know what I mean? I despise your feast days, and I will not smell on your solemn assemblies. So the Most High God hates and he despises. It's an abomination for you to celebrate Mother's Day or to make a woman a god or to worship the so-called god Rhea or Cybele. It's an abomination, black man. It's an abomination. And you will anger the Most High God. And because of things like this is why we are in the ghettos. This is why you are being oppressed by the court system. This is why the police are able to kill us and get away with it. These things are happening because we are not obeying God's laws. He says that he hates and he despises your feast days. Notice how he says your feast days, because these are man-made feast days. These are not given by the Most High God Yahweh. I told you before in Leviticus 23rd chapter that those are the high holy days that we are to keep as Israelites. But your feast days, the Most High God despises. He hates them. And he will not smell in your solemn assemblies. What's a solemn assembly? You come together, everybody sit down at the table, so-called relatives, and damn well if you've been in, even Salakia, I know brothers in the truth that was in the world once, they know what I'm talking about. When you're in the world, you worry about these holidays, you want to celebrate birthdays, you want to celebrate Christmas, you want to do all these different things, right? Your family comes over. What ends up happening? Somebody's gonna get into a damn fight. They're gonna ruin the whole damn moment, and this is gonna be nothing but you celebrating a pagan day. Somebody gonna get their nose broke. There's gonna be blood everywhere. Somebody might even get shot. You know what I mean? And then you're going to be worshiping false gods. You're going to make a woman a god, and you're going to be worshiping the god Rhea or Cybele. This is going to be a goddamn disaster, Salakia. It's just something that is no good is going to come out of. This is why the Most High God says in Amos 5:21, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. So the Most High God ain't smelling none of that damn meal that you're going to go get, mom. You know what I mean? That damn meal that you're going to prepare for your girlfriend, your boo thing is probably got about 10 niggas in their phone any damn way. Salakia. So the Most High God ain't smelling none of that, okay? In Amos 5:21, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Let's get the next scripture. All right. Okay, let's go. Let's go to Isaiah 1:14. All right. We need to know, as Blacks, Hispanics, First Nation men and women, we need to know what the Most High God does not like. We need to, that's what's important. What's right and what's wrong? What's in this Bible? What's in these law, statutes, and commands? Okay. What can we do and what can't we do? Isaiah 1:14. Your new moons and your appointed feasts, my soul hateth. They are trouble unto me. I am weary to bear them. All right. So again, Isaiah 1:14. Your new moons and your appointed feasts, my soul hateth. They are trouble unto me, and I am weary to bear them. Meaning, like again, these so-called holidays, these appointed feasts. Who are they appointed by? The goddamn white man, the Edomite, the devil, the oppressor that the Bible speaks about. They're appointed by him. Okay. So the Most High God is saying that your appointed feast by this devil, the Most High God so hates them. He hates it. Okay. They're trouble unto me. I am weary to bear them. He's tired of it. He's tired of it, black man, black woman. He's tired of you celebrating damn Christmas. He's tired of you celebrating your damn birthday. He's tired of you celebrating Mother's Day, Father's Day. He's tired of it. The Most High God's tired of it. And you know how you know he's tired of it? Black man and black woman keep dying in the streets. Salaki. Okay, that it went out for a minute, but let me repeat that again. So again, like I said, uh, the Most High God hates these things, and he's tired of them. He's weary to bear them. Meaning, he's tired of us celebrating these holidays. He's tired of us, honoring, women on Mother's Day, honoring fathers on Father's Day. He's tired of us, pulling Christmas trees in our house. He's tired of us dressing up like damn Easter bunnies and look like a fool on Easter or so-called Easter. He's tired of these things. Okay. And how do I know he's tired of it? Because we're still down in the streets. We are still, being treated like, less than humans in the court system. You understand? We're in the worst conditions. We're still in the projects. We're in poverty. Okay. You see what happened to our brothers. You know what I mean? Our brother George Floyd, Antoine Rose here in Pittsburgh, Sandra Bland. All the different brothers and sisters that have lost their lives. You know what I mean? To these damn, these devils, these so-called Edomites. And again, he says your appointed feasts come from your appointed feasts. They're appointed from the goddamn white man. That's where they're appointed from. The devil that the Bible speaks about. That's where they come from. So again, Isaiah 1:14, your new moons and your appointed feasts my soul hateth. They are trouble unto me, and I am weary to bear them. Let's get another one. Let's get Deuteronomy 4:23. Chapter 4, verse 23. I'm going to read down to 28. All right. Take heed unto yourselves, lest you forget the covenant of the Lord your God, which he made with you, and make you a graven image, or the likeness of anything which the Lord thy God had forbidden thee. Okay. 4:24. For the Lord thy God is a consuming fire, even a jealous God. When thou shalt beget children and children's children, and ye shall remain long in the land, and shall corrupt yourselves, and make a graven image, or the likeness of anything, I'm stressing that for a reason, and shall do evil in the sight of the Lord thy God to provoke him to anger. 4:26. I call heaven and earth to witness against you this day, that ye shall soon utterly perish off the land whereunto you go over to Jordan to possess it. Ye shall not prolong your days upon it, but shall utterly be destroyed. 4:27. And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whither the Lord shall lead you. And there you shall serve gods, the work of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see, nor hear, nor eat, nor smell. Let me break this down to you. Okay, so you know how likeness of anything? It's an abomination. It's a sin for us to worship anything as it is God, as it is the Most High God, Yahweh. So in this example, Mother's Day, you make your woman or your mother or some woman, some broad that you dating in the street, some woman that you like, a god. And it's an abomination for you to put a woman in the place of the Most High God, okay, to show reverence to a woman that way. And you do that by celebrating Mother's Day because you're worshiping the god Rhea, Cybele, Ishtar, Isis, whatever you want to call her. All right. So then it says, I'll call heaven and earth to witness against you this day, that ye shall soon utterly perish off the land. Now, this is back, of course, with our ancestors, but this is relevant today too, because we are still perishing in America and everywhere else on the globe. We're still perishing. 27. And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations. This is how we ended up in America. This is how you got Israelites in Russia, Israelites in Germany, Israelites in Africa, Israelites in the United States, Israelites everywhere, all over the globe, because the Lord scattered us off our homeland. What is our homeland? Our homeland, Israel, all right, Jerusalem, the Holy Land, all right. And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen. See again, among the heathen, nations outside of the nation of Israel. They are heathens. Okay, that's why you look over down the street from the corner of your house and you see a chicken spot and it's owned by a damn Arab. Or you look, to the left, look straight down the street to the left, you know what I mean, or just to the left, and you see what an African with an icy ball stand. You know what I mean? This is why that's happening. You know what I mean? Because we're scattered among the heathen and they rule over us. All right. Where the Lord shall lead you, and there you shall serve gods. It's telling you right there, because we lack a knowledge of our God and we disobeyed our God. We want to celebrate Mother's Day. We want to celebrate Christmas. We want to celebrate birthdays. We want to put women in the position of God. Now you're going to serve gods, and that's what's happening here in America. That's why most of us in the world are believe and celebrate in white Jesus, who is Cesar Borgia. You understand? This is why that's happening. This is why a lot of us are a lot of brothers and sisters are lost and are in Islam and worship Allah. You know what I mean? It tells you right here, and there you shall serve gods, the work of man's hands. What's the work of man's hands? That goddamn Christian cross, that wooden cross that you used to see in grandma's and nana's house, or your grandfather's house up on the wall, nice and big, the big cross, the wooden cross. That's the work of man's hands. It ain't got nothing to do with the Most High God. Man created that. Okay, that's a God that they made. Wood and stone. See, wood, Christian cross, and stone. What's a stone? That stupid, stone, that meteorite that fell out of the sky in Habakkuk 2:19. It talks about it, the dumb stone that the Arabs worship. That out in Mecca, the Kaaba stone. Another, false god or idol that man worships. And it's telling you that this is going to happen because of what we want to do, because we want to worship things like Mother's Day, or our ancestors wanted to worship Cybele and Rhea, which neither see nor hear nor eat nor smell. So these gods can't even do any damn thing. They can, like, so like it to them in above me. Commander Junior Hunter had brought out on I think it was Blackwatch the other day how like these Will Smith want to go over to India and be under the tutelage of them stinking Indians, and think he's going to learn something over there. And then, you want to bow down to the religion of the so-called Indians and think you're going to be a bit, niggas always feel like they got to go somewhere else to be better. Like everything's just better than us. But my point was that they're going to have you over there worshiping some damn idol that can't eat, smell, or nothing. You know what I mean? These idols are nothing. You know what I mean? They're nothing. They can't do anything. They can't do a damn thing. You understand? But this is what man and woman wants to worship. You know what I mean? Because we want to follow the practices of other nations. And that's what it all boils down to. We have always, had the knack to want to be like the other nations and follow what they do instead of, just being who we are. We have the best of everything. We're the best of the best. But for the life of me, I don't understand why we feel like we need to be like other people when everybody clearly knows that we're the best people on the planet and everybody wants to be us, but we want to be them. I just can't understand it. But it's just because we're lost people, and we just don't understand that. We lack a knowledge of our God. That's just basically what it is. Okay. Let me get okay. All right. So basically, again, Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man, and woman, to celebrate Mother's Day. It's another pagan practice that started in pagan origins. And I've said this to, brothers and sisters in the world, and they always say things like, well, that was then. I know it might have been that back in the day, but, today I'm only doing it because, I just care about my mom, or I'm only celebrating Christmas because I'm doing it for the kids. But that's Salakia, but that's bullshit. Salakia, it's a pagan practice. It started in pagan origins, and it's still pagan. And most of all, it upsets the Most High God, Yahweh. That's what we need to be worried about. We need to be worried about what our God would say, what our God wants from us. Okay, we need to quit worrying about what man thinks, or what our girlfriends, or what our boyfriends, or what mom or dad thinks. We need to worry about what the Most High God will say. And if you're a grown man or woman in this world, you can't use that as a damn excuse anymore. Okay, the scriptures are here. The Ashubik is here in the commanding journal Yohana. We've been teaching this truth since 1969. There is no more excuses. We have camps on damn near every street corner. Brothers bringing out the truth. We're on one accord. You understand? You know what I mean? We esteem the Most High God Yahweh. We show reverence to the Most High God Yahweh and our King Yahweh Shai. Okay, that's how it's supposed to be. All right, we don't worship no damn idols. We don't worship no American appointed feast days. You understand? So again, Mother's Day is another pagan day that's going to upset the Most High God. And then as long as we keep doing things like this, we're going to continue to be at the bottom. We're going to continue to die, and the heathens are going to continue to rule over us. All right. So with that, I'm gonna close out the class. And again, this is the Ashley became the commanding journal Johanna. I started at 1 West 125th Street. We're bringing out this truth since 1969. Get online, pay your tithes, ashleyBK.com. Support this truth. Brothers come from different cities. Even brothers come up here to Pittsburgh from Philadelphia, all over to bring this truth to the corners. Right down here on every other Friday on Market and Liberty and Market. From 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., bringing this truth up. So, get online, support this truth, drop a donation, in that donation bucket. You know what I'm saying? And again, we have these classes Monday through Friday. Here in Pittsburgh, we start around 5 to about 6:30. Pretty much everywhere else is from like 7 to 9. We have a Sabbath service also. And again, man, just get in this truth. If you want to really learn the truth, come into ISGPK, all right? Come in, you know what I mean? Forget them other Israelite groups. Of course, you know that the Christian church has failed you, has been failed you, the Muslim mosque, all these other different, you know, the Hotep community. None of that stuff is for the Black man, Hispanic man, and First Nation man and woman. And with that, I'm going to say shalom, Israel.